Yeah, I mean, this was a really fun movie to make, and being able to build that restaurant, it was so special. It was just we were able to capture everything that we needed and wanted to sort of push the suspense element forward in the film. And so it was just a really rad experience to like actually design something that you knew every inch of, so that you knew where you could put the camera at all times. We just had total control over the environment, and that was really nice. Um, I don't know who they are.
It's Craigslist.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
Craigslist. It was a
saw an
Craigslist
ad,
ad.
and I've always wanted to
Send
try this out.
Backstage West. Does that still exist?
Yeah, it's Backstage Southwest, actually. Yeah.
No, I mean I'm a huge fan of both of theirs, and this was one of those, another rare thing where I had a, they were both at the top of my wish list, and I got them. So they're both amazing actors, both on and off the screen, just good people. So I'm very fortunate.
I sort of had the incredible luxury of being directed by Chris, and what's so wonderful about that, one of the things that's so wonderful about that is he knew exactly what we needed and exactly what he was going for like frame for frame for this entire film. So he just really sort of supported me through all of those little microisms, and made it seem super, cohesive, and yeah, I just think that's what got me through all of it was your
Well,
knowledge of what was going on.
that's very generous. That's very generous. But I will also say that it's one of those cases where I just have to turn the camera on, and she had it. She had so much accessibility, and you just had such total control over the character, and you knew what you wanted for her. And I could feel that every day. So I really think it's really all her, to be honest.
That and looking at Brandon always makes me cry.
It's because I'm terrifying.
Spooky.
Spooky guy.
Spooky guy.
Spooky guy. But I think that's kind of always your job as an actor, is to figure out everything that the audience isn't seeing, right? And however you do that, whether you're writing all that shit down or just creating memories for yourself, you just want to have a life that's outside of what's on the page, and kind of fill in the blanks. And that informs all the things that are on the page. And hopefully, if you do that, then it's there. And also just I think a lot of that comes too with just being hyper present and listening, and I mean, so much of this film is rooted in that. I mean, it's just literally just her and I most of the time, just sitting in these chairs. So you don't. It's not like you have a lot of behavior to rely on. You don't really have a lot of action to rely on. In terms of just when it comes to doing a scene. You're very much just sitting and listening and feeding off the other person in a very subtle way, because it's not like we're having some heated argument through, you know what I mean? We're just like, you want some calamari? Do you know, like wine? So it's how do you bring like a slice of humanity to that? Yeah, it was kind of the deal.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I really focused on was trying to tell the story from a very personal and subjective point of view. I really wanted the movie to be Violet's point of view. And so there's a lot of stylization in the movie. We use a lot of different lighting cues and, camera effects to sort of really put the audience inside of Violet's head, which I think does help sort of raise the stakes and bring a lot of suspense to the movie. We also, we were always shooting in two modes. There was the sort of Violet on a date mode where she's performing for him because she has to in order to sort of maintain the scenario. And so all of those shots were very still, and almost sort of like traditional coverage. But then we also, whenever she is interacting with her tormentor, the camera starts to really move in really sort of strange and sort of off-kilter ways. And so I thought that was another thing that we were able to utilize to keep things visually fresh and things moving forward.
So this is a question for all of you. Have you ever been in a scenario where you received those weird airdrops, and would you ever accept them?
I've definitely gotten a rogue one, but I don't know if I've ever accepted it. Like on the train, I've gotten them before on the subway, but not in a while.
I'm so excited. Like anything to like punctuate the boredom of my life. I'll take it.
I've received some airdrops for sure. I
I feel like
ex-
Brandon
I
sends them.
I accept I accept them. I accept them in perpetuity.
Sometimes I don't know if I should feel honored, like, oh, you picked me, and then it's like a little scary sometimes too.
But I mean, that's how the whole movie came to be. Like the genesis of the movie was our producers were at dinner, and they started getting airdrops from somebody in the restaurant, and they couldn't figure out who it was, and that's when they sort of felt like, oh, there's a movie idea in here somewhere.